On a rocky island, far from the noise of cities and the rush of human ambition, stood an old lighthouse. It rose from the stone like a quiet promise, battered by wind and salt, its white paint faded by decades of storms. Most people passed it by without a second thought, seeing only a lonely tower against an endless sea. But inside that lighthouse lived a man named Elias, and his life was bound to the light he kept alive. For more than 40 years, Elias was the keeper of the light. His days were simple, almost invisible to the world. Every evening, as the sun sank into the horizon and darkness crept across the water, he climbed the narrow spiral staircase, all 132 steps of it. He cleaned the glass until it shone, checked the machinery with practiced hands, and made sure the flame was strong enough to cut through the night. When the light finally burned steady, he would pause for a moment, gazing out at the sea as if searching for something he could never quite see. Elias rarely spoke to anyone. Supplies arrived once a month, delivered by a small boat from the mainland. The sailors would nod politely, sometimes trying to start a conversation, but Elias answered with few words. He was kind, never rude, just distant. Yet every night, when he was alone with the sound of the waves and the hum of the lamp, he whispered the same sentence under his breath: "Let it shine. Someone out there needs it." In the nearby town, people often talked about the lighthouse keeper. They wondered why he chose such a lonely life. Didn't he feel the weight of isolation? Didn't he ever want to leave the island, to live among people, to build a life that looked more like everyone else's? Some even said it was a waste, spending an entire lifetime keeping a light on for strangers he would never meet. But Elias never thought of it as a waste. When he was a boy, his father had been a sailor. One night, a violent storm swallowed the sea, and the lighthouse on that stretch of coast went dark. The ship never made it home. Elias remembered standing with his mother on the shore, watching the waves rage, hoping for a miracle that never came. From that night forward, the darkness meant something different to him. It was not just the absence of light, it was a loss. Years later, when Elias was old enough to choose his path, he made a promise to himself that shaped the rest of his life. As long as he lived, no ship would crash because the light went out. That promise carried him through the decades, through quiet days and long nights, through storms that rattled the tower, and moments when his body felt weaker, but his resolve did not. Storms came and went, as they always do. The sea roared, the wind howled, and rain lashed against the windows. But Elias never failed his duty. Until one night, when the storm was worse than anything he had seen before. The sky cracked with thunder, waves slammed into the island like walls of water, and the lighthouse trembled as if it might tear itself from the rock. The light flickered. Elias felt it before he saw it, a subtle change in the rhythm of the machine. He grabbed his lantern and rushed up the stairs, his heart pounding harder with every step. Rain leaked through the old windows, the wind screamed like something alive, and lightning turned the darkness white for a split second at a time. "Not tonight," he shouted into the storm. "Not while I'm still here." When he reached the top, the light had gone out completely. His hands shook as he tried to restart it, fingers numb from cold and age. The machinery resisted him, jammed by salt and time. The fuel was dangerously low. Outside, the sea was devouring the night, and Elias knew that somewhere out there, ships were fighting for their lives. Then he saw it through the glass, a faint, struggling light in the distance. A ship tossed helplessly by the storm. Without stopping to think, Elias lifted his lantern and held it against the window. He waved it with all the strength he had left, shouting into the wind, begging the darkness to listen. "See me," he cried, "follow the light." His arms burned, his breath came in ragged gasps, but he did not stop. Hour after hour, he stood there, a single, fragile flame against the vastness of the storm. Eventually, the wind softened. The thunder moved away. The sea loosened its grip on the night. By morning, the storm was gone. The water lay calm, as if nothing had happened. A boat arrived from the mainland, cutting clean lines through the surface. A young sailor leaped onto the dock and ran up the tower, his eyes red with exhaustion and emotion. "Are you Elias?" he asked. The old man nodded. The sailor dropped to his knees. "You saved us," he said. "Last night, we saw your lantern through the waves. Without it, we would have been lost." Elias helped him to his feet and smiled, a quiet, tired smile. "The light did its job," he said. A few months later, Elias passed away peacefully in his sleep. When the villagers came to clean the lighthouse, they found his lantern still standing by the window, a small flame glowing softly inside. They placed a plaque on the wall in his memory, honoring a man most of them had never truly known. He kept the light burning so others could find their way home. Not all heroes are seen. Some shine quietly in the dark, not for fame or praise, but because they understand that somewhere, someone may need their light. Whatever storm you are facing, keep shining. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring English stories, only on English Life Tales.